In 1931, 2 years removed from the great stock market crash, $100 was a lot of money. It was also the going rate for the delivery of a child in Denver hospitals. So Earl Reum made his debut on his family's kitchen table.
Now, it happened like this, that my mom was a nurse, worked night shift. Dad was a butcher when it was 18 hours a day. Denver, Colorado, born on a kitchen table on the north side of town.
79 years later, he has, by his own math, talked to 4 million students and educators across all 50 states. His magic library has more than 3,000 books, and he has almost single-handedly made the number 10 the international symbol for excellence.
And the best in the world are ones who have brought fame and glory and set up sprinkler systems.
But these are only numbers, and they are by no means the measure of who Dr. Earl Reum is. To teachers, students, and administrators across the country, Earl is the man who practically invented student activities. To the 1,000 who have seen him perform magic, he is a master magician. To his wife, Mary, he's the man who keeps her laughing. And to his 4 children, he is a loving father. He is also an author, a speaker, an educator, and a mentor.
I first spoke at CADA in 1961, before anybody in the room was born. I remember stuff that never even happened.
But even these labels and descriptions fail to truly paint a picture of the man with the flaming wallet, the belly button, and the mile-a-minute delivery.
Plato and Aristotle did not prepare us for what has happened to us. It is probably good that they didn't.
I've got a frog in my throat. Don't talk to strangers. Don't eat standing up. You get fat legs. Rich people aren't happy. Never play leapfrog with unicorns. And they gave us these at the home, and it looked like this. And I thought, well, too much paprika, not enough mayonnaise. And that, isn't it true? It's happening to us all. You look around, and I can hear the voices, and they're saying.
For a kid in the Depression on the north side of Denver, life wasn't easy. It was tougher if you stuttered. But at the ripe old age of 7, Earl learned a lesson that would stay with him his whole life. His Cub Scout den mother, Mrs. Nystrom, realized the best way to help young Reum over his stuttering was to have him perform and sing. So she took him to a magic store, spent $20 for books and tricks to aid him, and then had him perform for his troupe once a week. Slowly, Earl learned sleight of hand, but he also learned to string sentences together and overcome his fear of speaking in front of others. And just as his love of magic blossomed and stayed with him a lifetime, so did the lesson of reaching out to help others.
But in the course of this, a teacher who cared made a difference in my life.
By age 17, he had become a celebrity among teens in Denver. He was known for his distinctive way of greeting friends, entertaining girls at the drugstore with the art of illusion, and running the student council as its president. Additionally, he was an honor student, an Eagle Scout, a member of the dramatic, literary, and speaking societies. In his spare time, he also participated in 18 other extracurricular activities and was manager of the swim team. His senior year, his fellow students, as well as the school faculty, named him the coordinator of PEP. This was enough to gain the attention of Life magazine photographer Alfred Eisenstadt, who headed to Denver to shoot pictures of Earl. In December of 1948, a 2-page spread of Earl appeared in the periodical, showing him cutting up in science class and writing poetry on a bus.
Took over 700 pictures, and they used 7. Changed my life. I got to go to college, boardroom, books, transportation, everything. Paid for because of Life magazine, 7 pictures, and it's the joy was that it was activities.
The magazine splash brought offers for college help in one form or another from 250 schools. And this was music to Earl's ears as he graduated 54th in his class of 864. Considering that Earl's father was a butcher and his mother a nurse, together earning $50 a week, college was not an affordable option. But the Catholic American University in Washington, D.C. offered a full scholarship, which Earl gratefully accepted. He threw himself into his studies while leaving enough time to pursue his love of magic and avail himself of the capital's culture, including the nightclubs. He also wrestled for the Fighting Cardinals, setting a record for most pins in a career. That is the dubious distinction of being pinned the most times.
And I majored in all philosophy, which is pretty good because you learn to say, do you want fries with that? You know, drama. And then in the course of it back to Denver, Colorado, I was suddenly a teacher and working on a master's, got that and then a doctorate, and did it in leadership education. And I became the activities director of the Denver Public School, 250,000 young human beings, an incredible time.
Earl founded the National Association of Workshop Directors as a result of his extensive travel to leadership camps and conventions on a national basis.
In 1960, some Californians said to me, we're starting to think about an organization. We're going to call, we don't know what we're going to call it, but we wanted to come and talk. About 50 of us, 1960, 61 and 60. I came every year. In 65, there weren't more than 55, 60 of us, but we were in San Diego, and we talked CADA. And CADA, and you used to say it starts like Cadillac. And CADA is the premier organization in the cosmos.
Water goes, because of gravity, from the top glass to the bottom one. Isn't that fun? Sort of. I used to do that a lot better. We have a knife made of stainless steel. Cutting the air, it is sharp. No, it's like this and like this. And then the water squirts out here and here, and then it'll squirt out the bottom. It really gets scary to death.
He has refined his use of magic so that it seamlessly helps him communicate his message of hope and leadership while teaching and entertaining thousands each year.
Okay, the number one reason why we people get into activities, number one, a little louder, he's an older person. I missed the faculty meeting where this was discussed.
Spend a little time on Facebook, and you begin to understand the depth of giving that has become Earl's trademark. At any moment of the day, any number of his 473 friends are singing his praises, along with gobs of folks who have heard him speak or perform magic and are moved to tell him how magical he is. Of late, Earl has been slow to step or two as he battles cancer. But a lifetime of teaching people about the endless possibilities of leadership and the human spirit is serving him well. He reports that he has lost 35 pounds, which has been a mixed blessing. He can now run like the wind, but he can also see his feet, which Earl claims look as if they belong to an alligator. Earl says the support from his friends from around the world and from CADA has been overwhelming.
And the excitement is to say the earth is changing in a positive direction because of a whole bunch of the most decent people that want to share and be involved. And hope. Hope is the antidote to suicide. And I didn't know that. Goals are the antidote to suicide. When people have things they have to do, and these people come out of here with high resolve to go change the world and to change administrators and change school boards, to change every place that they've been. You can't describe the joy, the excitement. I have a heart attack about every 12 seconds, and it's kind of nice because it keeps me going.
While Earl is a world-class speaker and magician, he truly shines beyond all measure as a person and a friend. Simply watching him walk down the hotel's halls is an illustration of how much joy one man can spread. He demonstrates how one person's heart can fill a room. His energy, his wit, and his passion are endless, and we are all richer for simply being in the same room with him.
The sign says, I like you, and over here it says, I like you too. Not that good, but it's cheap and wholesome, and it keeps me out of the army.
For those of you who have come to CADA over the years, you know that Earl is magic, and that has nothing to do with pulling a rabbit out of his hat. For those of you just meeting Earl for the first time, draw near and pay close attention. His hands never leave his arms, and his heart never leaves you alone.
I've watched kids stop riots. I've watched student leaders function in ways that their whole family and all of the lives of the whole happen, and you can't get down in that. And once in a while you get somebody who just doesn't know that there's great stuff ahead. Ah, the best is yet to be.